shut down Shaq Morris defensively, and just in general for the Cowboys to have that defensive performance even with the loss?
Shaq's a great player, so it took a total team effort. He can score in a lot of ways, but I think that means a lot for moving forward. Shows we can guard some elite bigs and play great team defense.
You had Landry Shamet with 30 points. What can you guys say about going up against him and the challenges he brought?
He can play and score in a lot of ways. As you can see, he got to the free throw line. He knocked down threes. He got to the rim. He's a great player, and he's going to score a lot of points this season. So it was a big challenge for us, and came up a little short.
For either of you guys, does this rank as one of the more physical games you guys have played? It just seemed between the offensive fouls and kind of the battles underneath that the level of physicality was higher tonight.
Definitely. We knew coming in that this game was going to be a fight, and it was. It was a war down low, especially. We were bumping each other all game, but that's just how some games go.
Do you think the defense you guys exhibited tonight is a little bit more how defense Coach Boyd has been preaching all season and all season?
Yes, it's definitely. That's how he wants us to play. Up in them, cause as much problem, get as many deflections as possible.
Having done that and sort of seeing the results of it, what do you think that does for everybody on this team to maybe push and continue to do that?
It just gives us confidence moving forward from all the way from the starters to the reserves. It just gives everybody confidence that it, that it actually does. It works. Some guys probably think in their mind it may not work, but it definitely does work. As long as we keep working at it, give 100%, it's definitely gonna work.
You guys talked about playing this kind of defense last year, but it didn't always pan out like that. What do you think's different between this year and last year in that regard?
You have to take that one.
Maybe just the type of personnel we have this year. I think we have different guys that bring different things to the table. We got a lot of length, especially on the wing. We've got length at the point guard with Ken. We've got quickness at the point guard with B.A. I think we just have a lot of different attributes that guys bring this year that maybe we didn't have last year.
How do you explain, especially in the first half, but even at times in the second half, you guys had stretches where you went 3 or 4 minutes without getting a bucket. How do you explain kind of those cold stretches on offense?
You're going to have those type of stretches. It's basketball. You're going to have runs. You're not going to have runs. So, you just got to stay in it and keep playing. Shots not falling, that doesn't mean nothing. As long as we go down, play defense how we're supposed to play defense, our offense is going to come.
And for both of you guys, I know Coach Boyd had mentioned before how it would be important to have more crowd support. What did it mean to you all to have a louder, more energetic crowd, really from both sides today?
Everything. It meant everything. They helped us out a lot. They helped me out a lot, because sometimes when you feel like you don't have the energy to play, you hear that crowd, it gets you going. It gets me moving all the time. So they were everything.
Yeah, the atmosphere today in the gym from both sides was one of the better atmospheres that I've played in. Just back and forth, everyone was excited, everyone was loud, and it gives you, like Shine said, it gives you extra energy. Lets you tap into the reserve tank and just play that much harder.
Did you know Shaq Morris from AAU days back?
I don't know that I ever played him in AAU, but I played him once in high school. I got a lot of respect for him, and being from Oklahoma, I hope he does really well.
Do you guys get a sense that Coach Boynton had a little more energy today, too? It seemed like from the very start he was kind of off the bench and clapping a little bit more. And was he kind of more animated with you guys today?
I think so, maybe a little bit. I think, like the last question, I think the crowd might have had something to do with it. It gives not only us energy, but it gives the coaches energy. It gives everyone energy. It just brings an atmosphere, an aura that you can't really explain in words.
For both of you guys, I guess starting with Mitchell, you guys have won quite a few games this year, but still looking for that kind of signature win against the top 25 team. You came close today. Does it make it frustrating? You were so close, but couldn't quite pull it off?
Definitely. No one likes to lose, and we're no different. But the progress that we've made between the two games, our two big games, is really exciting, and I think that just goes to show where we could be in the future.
Mitchell, you seem to have some of your best games against like top 10 opponents. Is there anything different? You should more fired up, or any reason at all?
No, I mean I'm not scared. I'm not afraid of anyone. So I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help my team. I mean, the opponent. I try not to think about who the opponent is. I just go out and play as hard as I can every game, and sometimes it just flows better when the atmosphere is like it was today.
Mitch, what do you feel like you've done this year to, I guess, stay out of foul trouble, limit fouls? I know you fouled out tonight, but most of them came in those final 10 minutes. You played 35 minutes of mostly foul-free basketball. How have you changed maybe in the last year?
I think there's a lot of technique and footwork. I think a lot of my screens were out on the perimeter trying to guard guards in different screens, and I haven't with our schemes I haven't been extended as much. A lot of the guys are able to keep their guys in front of them this year, and so I'm not having to play as much help defense, and so I'm not picking up fouls, rotating, and so I think that all kind of contributes to staying out of foul trouble.
Mitch, you like the throwback cursive unis?
They're probably my favorite jerseys we've worn since I've been here.
Why is that?
Just the tradition. I mean, that's why I came here, just because I've grown up a Cowboy, so being able to be a part of this tradition is really special to me.
Mitchell, Jeffrey Carroll last year obviously had such a big season. It looks like he struggled this year to kind of get back in the groove. Can you explain that, or what's your confidence level in him?
I have the utmost confidence in Jeff. I see him every day at practice. He's working his butt off, and it'll come. Everyone kind of goes through slumps. Everyone kind of has their slow starts and different things, but I have the utmost confidence that he'll get it together and be a really great player for us.
Mitch, I saw you talking with Shaq before some free throws were being shot. What were you guys saying to each other?
Just talking back and forth, just messing with each other.
Anything else, guys?
Thank you, guys.
To be a college basketball fan, to be honest. Our fans got to see our team play what I consider a national championship type team. I'm not sure there are 5 teams better than them. I mean, they're ranked number 6 and every bit deserving of that, if not more. So hats off to them. They obviously made a lot of big plays when they needed to. Our crowd was tremendous. Can't say enough about the energy that they helped provide for us. I literally think we got 3 or 4 guys that if we had to play a game on Monday could not because of the energy that the crowd gave for them to fight through today's game physically. And so I'm proud of that effort. With that being said, we lost. Losing is not acceptable. I don't really care who the opponent is or how good they're supposed to be. I expect to win. And my message to our team is if that's the number 6 team in the country, which I think they're better, we're really close to being damn good. I believe that. We've got some things we need to clean up. I think they out-toughed us at times today, which is another thing that's never acceptable. But I'm extremely proud of their effort, their ability to continue to go toe-to-toe, which for about 34 minutes, we were right there. And then they had an All-American play like an All-American, and he was really good today. So hats off to them for winning the game.
And Coach, I know defense had been something that you emphasized from the start of the season. At one point, Wichita State had more turnovers than they had points. What did it mean, even with the loss, for OSU to be able to play aggressively defensively and force those turnovers out there, especially at the start of the game today?
To me, it means that our guys are bought into that. I said that from day one. They've allowed us to coach them. They've given us a chance to have another philosophy take over. For most of those guys, the 3rd in 3 years. And so credit to them for buying in, for believing, and then for going out and trying to execute the best that they could.
And with that being said, then what was it like going head-to-head with another team that had such an aggressive defense and also forced turnovers too?
It was fun, to be perfectly honest. That's how our practices are most days. So we weren't, fazed really by their aggressiveness. I wish we made a few more shots. We had some good looks that didn't go down. But it came down to rebounding. I mean, they were plus 10 on the glass, which is not as good as they usually are, but still plenty good enough to win a game on the road like they did today.
You had the first half mostly defense, and then by the second half, at first there was more scoring. I know by the end the scoring slowed down a lot, but what do you think made that happen, where in the second half there was more scoring and the offense kind of picked up and came alive on both sides?
I think both teams got into a rhythm. You know, we kind of sized each other up. It was like a good old heavyweight slug match out there for the first half. You know, don't hate makers. Neither team's giving an inch. Both teams are standing their ground and fighting. And then at halftime, you make some adjustments and try to figure out different ways to attack. I think both teams did a good job of it, and obviously they did a little bit better than we did.
Coach Jeffrey Carroll, obviously you're a preseason All Big 12 player. It's 6th game back. He's still not starting. Can you kind of explain that decision?
Yeah, I mean, starting's really not something I think about very often. Said that from day one. You know, if he was available to start the season, maybe that's a different conversation we're having. But to start the season, he wasn't available to us. And we got into a pretty good rhythm with the guys that were starting. I think those guys are still doing a good job. And unless something drastic changes in that regard, or you know, somebody's sick or something, I don't foresee that changing. Unless it has to. I'm not a guy who really makes a big deal out of starting, to be honest. And Jeff and I have had that conversation. He's been fine with it. Our team has worked well together doing that. I mean, we've gotten off to really good starts with the guys who start. But he knows he's going to play and have great opportunities. So there's nothing really more to it.
So it might be a season-long thing where he's coming off the bench?
I mean, I don't know. I don't try to predict what will happen in March now. I mean, we may need to shake up the lineup at some point if things aren't working out. But that's just not something I feel is necessary at this point.
Besides starting, you saw how well he played last year. It seems like he's, you know, kind of in a funk this year. Can you explain that, or do you have confidence that he'll pop out of it?
Absolutely. He's a really good player. Yeah, those things work themselves out over the course of his season. I got confidence that his numbers will look fairly close to what they were last year with opportunity. You know, the one thing we've got to get Jeff to do is stop living and dying with his jump shot a little bit more. We've had those conversations. He had 0 offensive rebounds today. You know, so when you're not making shots, you got to find other ways to be impactful on the game, and that's my job, is to help him understand that and help him get better at those things.
He had those 2 offensive fouls in the first half. Do you think that kind of forced him to be a little more tense?
Yeah, I mean, you know, had a couple plays where he drove, and that's close. It's 50-50 whether he gets fouled or not. I mean, those things happen, and I think maybe that affected his psyche. They both became offensive fouls, and he didn't get to the free throw line. And sure, I mean, that's what happens, especially when the kid's already not in a good rhythm. Right. What I'm trying to do is get him to drive the ball and maybe get to the free throw line. And then when that also doesn't work, it's like, you know, he kind of throws his hands up and figure out it, you know. So, that again, that's my job, is to help him be his best. And obviously right now I'm not doing a very good job of that, and I've got some time this week to get it fixed.
Best all-around game Mitch has played?
Yes. You know, obviously I wasn't here for 2 years of his career, but certainly in my time, I really believe he's one of those guys that if we had to play a game on Monday, if this was a Big 12 Saturday, Monday turnaround, he may not be available to us. I mean, he's literally given us everything he had today. I mean, I don't know how many times he was on the floor, down for ball. He's obviously battling really big physical guys on the glass all game long. So I'm proud of that. But that's what a senior is supposed to do. Step up and give you everything they have in a game where we know it's going to come down to possessions matter. And so, yeah, I think he, from a rebounding, scoring, being a really good defender like he always is standpoint, he was pretty complete.
You ditched the jacket pretty early today. Was that a sign of your intensity as well?
That's the first time I've ever done it. It was pretty hot in there today, though. But I like it. So, you know, the fans will know if they show up and they're loud, they can probably get me out of a jacket. They can see what color shirt I have on.
Speaking of that, you took the opportunity to grab the mic and address the crowd, you know, before they left. Was that important to you today?
Very important. And more so to this is a proud program. This is a program that's always been able to rely on the fan support. And when they've had its most success, this is a really hard place to play for opponents. They showed up and did their part today. We came up short on the court, but I wanted them to know that we appreciate that. And I know that if they continue to do that, I know what we're going to do in terms of our effort and our commitment to playing the game the right way and trying to represent this program. And the combination, it can be something that's really successful over time.
You mentioned Shannon took over there in the second half. Just what was was the difference from him that you saw in the second half, and what was he able to do that gave you trouble?
I don't know. I mean, he maybe was a little bit more aggressive, looking to score. I think he was trying to facilitate a little bit earlier in the game. But that's what really good players do. We all got to witness it last year, right? Having Juwan Evans in those moments, he just takes over games. So credit to him. I mean, so he's an All-American. That's what they do. When their team needs them, they step up and they figure out a way to help them get in position to win.
You guys were able to shut down Shaq Morris pretty well. What went into that?
I mean, I don't know how much our change in defense. We tried to throw a lot of different things to keep him off balance. We doubled him a couple times. Now, obviously, he made a big three when we had some momentum, and I think it was a 5-point game, and he got loose. And that's a shot you kind of live with. I mean, if he's going to be standing at the 3-point line shooting threes, that means he's not rebounding, he's not killing inside or putting fouls on your bigs, and he makes it. And credit to him for stepping up and having confidence and the courage to step up and make a shot when his team needed it. But in terms of the rest of the game, I thought our bigs did a good job of trying to keep the ball away from them, and our guards pressured them enough that the ball was extended on the court. We really forced them to run their offense further away from the basket than they normally do.
How much did it hurt especially in the second half, when getting into foul trouble and a bunch of guys?
Yeah, it's a factor. Something we got to get better at. We have to play aggressively without fouling, because that doesn't help to put teams at the free throw line. And they were 26 for 32 at the free throw line. And they made them all when they needed to, 20 for 25 in the second half. Again, that's a sign of an experienced, well-coached, tough team, right, to step up and make them. But we've got to do a better job of not putting ourselves in those positions, because the other thing it affects is who you can have on the court. Kendall, I thought, got off to a really good start. He was in a nice groove, which he's been struggling a little bit, trying to find a consistent rhythm. But he picks up a second foul, and in retrospect, maybe as a graduate transfer in the future, I'll give him a chance to play through that some. I don't know. Again, I've got to evaluate myself in all these things. But at the time, I didn't think I knew it would be a close game. And I wanted to make sure we had him for the second half. And if he picks up his third there, I think it totally changes things. But, we had Cam with 2 fouls. I think Lucas had 2 fouls. And so it makes it hard. But that's why you want to have depth and quality depth, which right now we have. We don't have them at all the positions. And hopefully we get one more guy back, and that'll help next week.
Coach, obviously, Tavares missed most of last year, but does he seem to find his stride now a little bit, it seems like? Yeah, I mean,
Tavares is a guy I'm extremely proud of, personally, because to come back from what he came back from, back surgery is pretty serious. I don't know many people who have back surgery and then go play at the Big 12 basketball level, period. And so for him to come back, and quite honestly, in April and May, I wasn't sure he'd come back at all. Psychologically, having gone through all that, now he's maybe playing for his third coach here. Maybe just go try something new. For him to be committed to this thing and be on board with buying into what I've tried to get him to do, I told him, hey, you might work your tail off all summer and never play. It's a conversation we had. I said, but if you work your tail off, I'm going to be there for you, and I'm going to try to help you get through it. And to his credit, he took all that work, and he made himself become a player that can help us win. And obviously the results have shown.
And Shine mentioned when we talked to him, he said that the crowd support was everything to him. How did you see him feed off that today?
I don't know how much I saw specifically from him, but I know our team was driven by the energy in the building. There were several times where, you could just see a guy giving a little bit more effort because they know that people are there and they care about what's going on out here. So I don't know about specifically to him, but I think our whole team fed off the energy of the crowd. They obviously didn't affect the outcome of the game, but they certainly gave our team a boost against a really, really good team today at home.
Despite the loss, was this your team's best performance of the season so far?
I would never really say that in a loss. I'm a competitor, right? At the end of the day, we lost for a reason. We didn't play well enough to win, so we got to evaluate that. But I am proud of the effort. Again, I think they can win a national championship. I think they're that good. They have everything I think you need. They've got depth, size, experience. They're well coached. They're tough. They're disciplined. You go on and on. They have it. And so for us to go toe-to-toe with them is something that we can build on. But I would stop short of saying it was a great game for us.
And as you go forward in the season building the team, what's the biggest takeaway from this loss that you think you can work on in future practices?
It's the same thing I told our team. If they're number 6, which I think they're better than, we've got a chance to be really good. We went toe-to-toe. with a team that I think can make a Final Four and a national championship today, albeit at home and in front of a crowd. But that's what the capabilities are here. And as we continue to get better, if we learn individually, I told all the players in the room, it's going to start with me. We've all got to go look in the mirror. How do we get better? How does Mike Boyne get better from this game and help his team the next time we're in this same situation? If everybody does that, I have no worries about where we can go.
Coach, is this a series you want to see continue in the future?
Yeah, I try not to think too much about that. I mean, obviously it's a regional game, two high-quality teams. We want to play high-quality opponents as often as possible, and if that's something that's a possibility, it's certainly something I want to talk about. But, obviously two parties have to agree on all the circumstances.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy your week.